the man from down under with a little thunder, WWE and Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer, Bushwhacker Luke. I hear something else comes from down under too. The Wrestling with Figs podcast with my mates Chris and James. You gotta tune into this great podcast because Chris and James will give you all the inside info. Whoa! Yay!
G'day and welcome to another episode of the Wrestling with Figs podcast. My name is James Thomas and joining me from over in the West is Chris Maddock. And I'm really excited about tonight's episode, guys, because we are paying homage to the great one, to the immortal Hulk Hogan. How are you, Chris?
Good, mate. Let me tell you something, brother. I'm excited by tonight's episode. I'm sorry that we rushed a day early. That's purely on me being a very poorly organised parent over here in the West. I was just saying to James, my work schedule is about as busy as it's ever been in the history of work, and the kids' schedule is probably just as busy, if not busier. Feels like every day of the week we've got two things on, and the time is just disappearing. It's already the end of August. It's going to be Christmas soon. I have to make a new Christmas intro for the pod this year.
That's it. Chris, I don't feel sorry for you how busy you are, mate, because in about 2 weeks' time or 3 weeks' time, you've got another 2 weeks off. And at the end of the year, you'll have 12 weeks off because of being such a great quality school teacher. You are looking after our future. So
that's right, mate. Yeah. It would look, I don't think I've ever met anyone who's told me I don't deserve to have holidays each year. They will say to me, you know what, you've worked hard, Chris. You deserve that time off. And can I let you in on a little teaching secret, James?
What is it?
If there wasn't 12 weeks a year of holidays, there would be no education system.
No teachers, no.
Because there is no other perks. Now, sometimes family and friends, they like to get stuck into me and say things like, teachers, 8 till 3, 12 weeks a year of holidays, geez, that's a good gig. And then those same people are sitting at the pub at 12 o'clock on a Friday having a business lunch on the company credit card or a corporate golf day. Oh, geez, that sounds like a hard day.
Well, let me tell you something, Chris. Let me tell you something, man, Ken. If it wasn't for our teachers, there would be no parents because no parent could be with their children 24/7. No way.
Mate, if I could tell you, I won't tell you because I can't breach privacy, but if I could tell you some things I saw today, you would just, I'll tell you off air and I'll share it with anyone else. DM me if you want to know. But today I saw some very interesting culinary habits from our pre-primaries. Very interesting. Interesting cuisine they were having for lunch. Things that you probably wouldn't expect to put in your mouth, but very, very strange.
Very good.
Big show tonight with the Hulk theme.
Big show. We wanted to celebrate a belated celebration of the Hulkster's birthday, which was on the 11th of August. He's turned 69, that magic number. The Hulkster. You know what? We're slowly running out of time to get over there and meet him. I haven't met him, and it's on my bucket list. It's on my bucket list to do that.
Yeah, very keen. Got to go to the beach shop.
Yes, absolutely. But there's been a lot happening down under. We've had Mick Foley. We've had Kiss touring. We've had what else have we had, Chris? We've had UFC championships changing hands. Amazing stuff.
Not only a few weeks ago, we had the World Series wrestling as well.
Yes, yeah, mate. It's good to see the world open back up. But I reckon because we want to keep this show to an hour tonight, Chris, due to your heavy commitments, how about we get stuck in? Because we've got a lot to go through with the great one, Hulk Hogan.
Should we start with community news?
Let's kick it off.
News.
All right, let's kick it off with some general housekeeping, guys. Please subscribe to the Wrestling with the Figs podcast on wherever you listen to us, whether it's Apple or Spotify. Please leave us a 5-star review. It allows us to get the name out there, thanks to the algorithms and all that, technical stuff that I don't really understand. But the more people leave a comment or leave a review, I should say, the more we get the name out there. So please do that. If you are enjoying the show, that'd be greatly appreciated. And thank you to the people that have already done that. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. We are looking for a new sponsor of the show. We bid farewell last episode to our good friends over at Go Figure. We wish them all the best, and hopefully we will cross paths in the future once again. But if you are in the pop culture game, action figures, trading cards, or memorabilia, or whatever you may be into, please reach out. We'd love to have a chat. Thirdly, Figs Down Under community. If you haven't joined our Figs Down Under private Facebook group, it's an amazing group of guys and girls. Come over, join the fun, join the family, and we can support one another with our collecting journey. Now, I'm a little bit excited about this, Chris. How about we get stuck into the Hulk Hogan discussion? Now, I've written up a few questions for us to answer, and hopefully it takes not only us but our listeners on a trip down nostalgia lane. So, Hulk Hogan for you. What's your first memory of Hulk Hogan?
First memory is probably watching WrestleMania 3, Hulk slamming Andre, and watching it on Wide World of Sports probably a year after it had happened, because I'm a little bit younger than you, so I reckon that was probably my first real taste. I remember my brother had a Hulk Hogan LJ and Thumb wrestler, and I didn't know who he was, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, yeah. And the LJ and Thumb wrestler actually is a very good likeness to Hulk. If you look at the face and the hair, for what it is, I think it's pretty accurate. Whereas the early Hulk Mania 1, Mania 2, he's not that impressive. I don't think the first couple of Manias, like, I know he was still a big star. He was drinking 2 liters of milk there on the stage, on the screen. But the first real memory was that slamming Andre, and then from then it just erupted into I've got to watch this guy. And then I went through a period I really didn't like him. So after about Mania 6, I used to want the heels to win, because I got sick of the script. I got sick of the punch in the head, Hulk's down, he Hulks out, he drops the leg, and the match is over. I was like, no. I want variety. I do not want the same thing. And when Undertaker beat him at Tuesday in Texas, or was it Tuesday in Texas or the Survivor Series, and then he won back the title at Tuesday in Texas, I was like, all right, here we go. And even when Warrior beat him at Mania 6, I thought, all right, here we go. The script has changed, and that was exciting for me.
Yeah. Mate, for me, I'll keep this very, very simple. I just loved his ring entrance. It was electric. It was vibrant. And the old shirt rip, for me, that's the ice. That's Hulk Hogan through and through, right? Yeah. The old and then throwing the singlet out into the crowd. That's for me is where he caught my attention. He was never actually, to be honest with you, Hulk was never my favorite, but he's in the top 3. Yeah. And he, I think all of us of our vintage, yes, you are. You keep saying it every week. You're a little bit younger than me. We all probably got into wrestling thanks to Hulk Hogan, right?
Yeah.
That's probably the first wrestler we remember.
If you think about it, wrestling, I know this is like straight out of the McMahon Hogan angle from WrestleMania. Wrestling was not made to be popular really until Hulk Hogan took it to another level with Vince McMahon and the WWF to take it to that next level. Where if you ask my mum, "Oh, who's this?" she'll go, "Hulk Hogan."
Yeah, exactly.
And Mum would have no clue about wrestling. Or if you ask my nana, "Who's this?" My nana would go, "Oh yeah, that's Hulk Hogan." And before that, I think a lot of adults would have known of different people in different organisations, but I reckon it was about Mania 2, Mania 3, and people started to take notice.
100%. Now I'm going to kick this next one off. For me, my favourite match or memory and match of Hulk Hogan, and you said it earlier, was WrestleMania 6, where he actually handed over the title. And I remember when Warrior won and he's standing there with the belt and he's shaking his head. And I thought, he's going to hit him with the belt. But he went over there, shook his hand and handed it over, right? That was a really good moment of sports entertainment. And, the passing of the torch. So I thought, that's great. Now I'm an adult. It's great. It's great of him to do that for the business. He was obviously a bit more of a bigger thinker than some. But that was probably my most memorable match with Hogan in it.
My favourite Hogan moment, not a match, is the Bash at the Beach WCW heel turn.
Oh yeah.
Creation of the NWO. The whole talk of who's the third man all night, and then Hogan comes out to save the day, and no one saw it coming. Absolutely no one. And then he drops the leg. The crowd pelt them with rubbish. You can just see how emotional those Americans were in that moment.
Oh yeah,
like,
huge
not
risk.
Hulk. You can have anyone, but you can't take Hulk.
Yeah,
and,
it's a huge risk. It was a huge risk,
Yeah.
right? A huge gamble, and it's paid off massively.
Yeah,
Very, very, very well done.
And it was at that perfect time before the internet and spoilers had really taken over. So people didn't know it was going to come. What was it? I can't remember what year it was now, but it just felt like the last real surprise in wrestling.
Yeah.
Like everything else that's happened since then, you've sort of seen coming.
Yeah. It's one of those moments
that was a shocker.
It's one of those moments where you remember where you were, you remember who you were with. It's one of those moments. Now I want to do exciting things. What is your top 3 favorite Hulk Hogan action figures / memorabilia?
Well, I've got some images here, my friend. First one I'm going to show. It's a hard photo because bringing the pod forward a day earlier, I had to sort of scrounge around. There's a graded 90. That's a Perfecto Series 1 Hulk Hogan in the case,
nice.
90 graded. Thank you, Johnny Watson, for that one.
So Series 1. Series 1 is number 1 figure, yep.
Now, this one is actually a custom, but it's a very cool custom. It's a custom two-up Hulk mail-away looking two-up. So this is made by Darren Sedgwick in the UK and painted up by him. The accuracy of these are incredible. Not cheap, but very, very cool. What was my third one, James? What would I like to share? Or how about this one, James? What do you think about this figure? The He-Man Masters of the Universe. This is disgraceful. Hulk Hogan is probably going to cry.
That's insulting. Apologies, Uncle Terry. Terrible.
That is a disgrace, that figure. But look, I'm sure Hulk loves it. I'm sure he saw that and thought, geez, they've really done me proud here. And the other one that I have to show is this one. Another custom, Zash Mann's LJN custom with Hulk ripping his shirt off. Very, very cool. I've got a quandary about this though, James, because I bought this from Zash and I love it, but I don't have anywhere to put it. And it sort of drives me nuts because it sort of sits on a shelf. I'd really like to display it, but I don't know what to do with it. It's such a cool figure. But yeah, I don't want to lose it, but I just wish I could display it better. Anyway, all jokes aside, this one is probably my pride and joy. The classic superstars, NWO Hulk Hogan, signed by Hulk himself, signed as Hollywood Hogan as well, which apparently he doesn't do anymore. So apparently he only signs as Hulk Hogan now, not as Hollywood Hogan. But that one is a very cool piece in my collection from the Beach Shop.
Awesome.
But yeah, very, very cool. What about you, James?
Well, mate, my top 3 are probably I don't have all of them, but these, in my opinion, are, again, being my vintage, are the most iconic Hogan toys from my era. So number 1 for me is, and it's my all-time Hogan favorite Hogan figure, is Series 2 Hasbro, the old bear hugging one. That is my absolute favorite figure of the Hulkster.
Yeah,
Second figure is, I think it's iconic. I don't own this, but I think it's iconic, and it's I think in the packet, it needs to be in the packet, is the LJN Series 1 LJN Hogan.
Very cool, that one too. Yeah, it looks just like him. Yeah,
it just pops. It's awesome. And last but not least for me, I think the Tonka wrestling buddy for its time was absolutely sensational. A great piece that I'm sure still sits in the collection of guys my age, and it's probably as flat as a tack, but such an iconic piece of Hogan memorabilia that was made in the early 90s. So they are my top 3.
That Tonka wrestling buddy, sorry I don't have a photo there for you, but it is such a cool nostalgia piece.
Yeah.
And you know what? I love the Tonka buddies in the box. When you see them in the box, they actually I can't ever remember seeing them in stores. I know we've talked about this before. People have said, I saw them in Myer. But when you see them in the box, they look like they're meant to be like that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. I know. On the UKG website, if you want to check one out, there's one that's graded on there in the box.
Nice. That'd
be
big
huge.
Yeah.
It'd be huge, right? Mate, I actually put the word out to our community. So we're gonna highlight probably Down Under's biggest Hulk Hogan fan, which would be Rob Kerr. We asked him to come on the show, but he's just got family commitments. But he sent us
disappointing, Rob. Disappointing.
He sent us some amazing pieces, and we're just going to talk. He shared a story with me, which is awesome, about why he got into Hulk Hogan. Before I do, I put out to the community, send me in your favorite Hulk Hogan action figures, and the list is quite diverse, which is pretty cool. So I've got here. There we go. I've got one from Luke Young, the Ultimate Edition Series 13 Hulk Hogan. It gives him more nostalgia feels than any other figure, and it is a great figure, I must admit. Next is Rob LeGrice.
Yeah.
Red shirt, black card, LGN Hulk Hogan. That's again another great Hulk Hogan figure. Dim Tissaronis. Apologies if I've screwed up your surname, Dim. The Storm Collectibles Hulk Hogan. It's so realistic, and I'm assuming, judging by the photo, it's the 16-inch, like the Hot Toys style.
Well, anyone who wants a Storm Collectibles loose, I've got one for sale, but no one wants to buy it.
Okay.
And it is, for my opinion, it is as good as any Hulk figure I've ever seen. And my annoying son wanted one, so I bought him one. And then it was limited, I think, to 3,000 or 5,000, and now he doesn't want it anymore. So It's in pretty good condition, I'd say.
What are you asking for it?
$100. They were 55 US on release, and if you could find me one for under 200 now in box, I'd be pretty impressed. If my price is off, tell me and I'll reduce.
All right.
But
we'll talk
$100 is fair. I think $100 is cheap and it's complete. So.
All right. Steve Campbell, his favourite is the defining moments with the 1986 belt. Definitely a great figure.
Yeah, great figure.
Ben Coombe, NWO Hogan from the Classic Superstars lineup, or the Thunder Lips figure from the Rocky. Both great figures.
Yeah.
Daniel Lang. Now, this I agree, this is one of the best Hogans out there, and it's the Unmatched Fury. A great, great figure. I think it's a figure ahead of its time. What do we got here? And then this is from Steve Milemans, and he's got LGN red and white Hulk Hogan LJNs. So great, great pieces there. Thank you, everyone.
The Furies are going to go up very significantly in the next few years. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
If you've got a Mutant box, they'll go up because they look really cool. All
right. Let's see what happens. I think the Jack Classic Superstars will go up in value too. All righty. So I'm going to talk about Rob Kerr. So Rob Kerr, if you don't know him, one of our great members from down in Melbourne. Great dude and one of the biggest Hulk Hogan fanatics that I've ever met. And he sent us through a whole bunch of photos. But before we get into that, I asked him what got him into Hulk Hogan in the first place. And this is his response, right? Word for word. Catching various wrestling bits and pieces on Wide World of Sports. I think we all got our fix of wrestling from Wide World of Sports back in the day. And this was all before WrestleMania 1. He saw this larger-than-life character and was instantly hooked on his energy and presence. His parents let him stay up until midnight to watch WrestleMania 1 on TV the night it was broadcasted. Wow, so it was broadcasted to Australia. Didn't know that.
I didn't know that. I think Channel 9 did broadcast a few pay-per-views in the early days.
Did they? Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it was always really late.
He went to school the next day and there was none of his mates were allowed to stay up and watch it all. The rest is history. He's 45 years old and still a Hulkamaniac. So that's bloody brilliant, Rob. I love the passion behind that. And you got to admit, hey, Rob has got some amazing pieces, and he sent me 50 images. We're not going to share all 50 of them. I've picked my favorites, but he's got all these magazines, memorabilia, figures, toys, boots, ring gear, all signed. But tonight we're going to share, for those that are listening, we'll share this on our socials. I really love this idea. He's got Hulk Hogan singlets, and Chris, you're just going to flick through them. throughout his career. So starting off with the Hulk Rules shirt. Have you noticed they're signed? Amazing piece.
Are these ring worn? They're obviously not ring worn, are they?
No, they wouldn't be ring worn. No.
Otherwise, it'd be ripped.
Yeah, these you could buy from the wrestling magazine back in the day, or this specific one you could. And we got the Hulk Hogan with the American flag around WrestleMania 7. He was wearing this, and WCW Hulkster shirt before he went NWO, and here he is, NWO Hollywood Hulk Hogan Rules, all signed by you.
Cool shirt.
Very cool. Hulkamania. So this is this is the 80s. This is the 80s singlet. And then here we go. Similar shirt to the Series 2 Hulk Hogan bear hugging Hasbro figure. Great pieces. Now I don't know. He did share a photo of me of his LJN collections. I think he's got every single LJ. Oh, there it is. His LJN collection, mint in box, mint on card, his Hogan rookie cards, his customs. Just an absolute Hulk Hogan fanatic. So,
the Hogan headband.
Hogan headband, yes. Yeah. Brilliant stuff.
I've heard that Rob actually likes to wear that Hogan headband just down the shops.
When he's drumming. He's a professional drummer, I think.
Oh, there you go. Look at this. And welcome back to Let's Talk About Rob Kerr. This is your life.
No, thank you, Rob. It's his Hogan collection is something to truly admire, and we appreciate him sharing that with us. Next person I wanted to highlight was our good friend Johnny Watson, and I want to highlight this because I'm absolutely jealous of these two pieces. He's got the Hulk Hasbro Series 1 and 2 hand-painted prototype. Hey, no, that's not it.
Oh, sorry.
Hand-painted prototype. It's just one photo, mate, with the bear hug and Series 1 figure. But anyway, while Chris is looking at that,
I don't know it.
The cracking thing about this is that Hogan Hasbro Series 1, you would have to say, is the first Hasbro they ever put together and designed. And Johnny has got that in his hot little hands. Plus, he's got the Series 2 Bear Hugging Hogan, which was the same Bear Hugging Hogan in all the magazines and all the TV adverts. Amazing piece and cracking pieces of WWF Hasbro history. So
we'll share that one on our socials.
Proudly, they are sitting in Australia, and hopefully they'll stay here for a very, very, very long time.
Hey, James, do you understand the enormity of those two figures being as iconic as they are, being in Australia?
Oh, it's awesome. It's so good. It is so good. It's so good. And, Australia and New Zealand are slowly getting there with some of these amazing pieces that the world are jealous of. So very proud. Very proud. Now, all right. Well, that's how Hulk Hogan. That's how. Start again. That's us paying homage to our good friend Uncle Terry, Hulk Hogan. Thank you for everyone that sent their stuff in. That was really, really, really awesome. But let's get into some figure news now, mate.
What's that, mate?
Let's get into some figure news. So, your new generation.
Stinger for figure news.
No.
After a 4-hour Hulk talk, we probably need some sort of segue. Hey, first one, I don't know whether this is in the order. As I said at the start of the show, we don't have a sponsor anymore. We can do whatever we want, James. There's no one. We have no one that has to be happy with our performance tonight, and it's a bit of a rush job to put it all together tonight. So that's why I'm sort of sometimes looking for images, and we're just trying to make everything perfect as we can. But how good are our friends over at Powertown with the Bruiser Brody? Is this the best looking figure packaging of the modern figures?
Yeah, look, it looks fantastic. Powertown seem to be turning some heads, don't they? I think this is going to really appeal to the guys that are older than us. I was listening to the Major Wrestling Figure podcast the other day, and I think they said they had like 200 plus signed wrestlers, but they were wrestlers that are really, really before my time. They're obviously targeting the older generation, which is cool. I think it's awesome.
But just the quality, the quality just looks so high.
Yeah.
And they've come out of nowhere. Like I don't think until about 6 months ago anyone had heard anything, and then all of a sudden this just looks absolutely sensational. Yeah. Comes with a lot of accessories. It has a belt, has the chains. Really, really cool.
Yeah. What I did hear though is that Ted DiBiase he won't be in the lineup anymore because of his Legends deal with WWE. But no, look, bravo to them. They're doing good work.
Bruiser Brody was actually added to the lineup to replace Ted DiBiase.
There you go.
In the original lineup, there was 4, and Ted DiBiase was one of them, and Bruiser Brody was added.
Yeah, there you go. Now, mate, on to Mattel. I'm noticing that the new generation arena starting to land at somewhere around the States. So they look really, really cool. Have you got your tracking number yet, man?
I haven't got a tracking number, but I have a shipped email. So
okay.
It says, well, hang on. I'm checking it right now. It was shipped on the 9th of August. So it's on its way. And it has no tracking. Standard international, so we'll see it here at Christmas time. But
hang on a minute, was that an option? Was that an option to only pay for standard? Like, could you have paid?
It was one shipping cost.
Wow, that's a risk. That's a massive risk.
How much do you reckon it cost me to pay for shipping for the new generation box?
$70 US.
$14 US.
You're never going to get it, mate.
It was standard. That's what everybody had to pay the same. It was standard US shipping, $14.95.
Jeez. So I know some members have bought multiples. So what? They've had to pay $14 once or $14 3 times over?
No, I'd say they pay it for each purchase.
Surely they're not going to send 3 boxes in the one package, right?
I have no idea.
Mattel aren't that smart.
Look, just on shipping, I know this is bigger news, but on shipping. So I got a ringside order this week. It took about 5 weeks, which is for me from pre-COVID. That's about standard. So it looks like it's starting to get back to normal. And then I also, which I'll talk about shortly in Merch Perch, got my Zombie Sailor order today.
Oh, yes.
Only 13 months after placing the order, which is fantastic. And they were shipped on the 26th of July. So that's taken just under 5 weeks, about a month. So shipping is getting there. I think we should be looking now at by the end of the year, we'll be looking at 3 weeks again, which is pretty good.
Let me share something, Christopher. I had my let me tell you, I'll speak facts here. I don't want to talk shite. There we go, Dino. Alrighty. So I had my shipment not sent direct from Zombie, but a good friend of Granville Nash, author of the Has book. He sent from Chicago. I got a Dino and Earl Hebner on the 24th of July. It's now
2 days before me.
It's the 22nd of August, and I'm checking my tracking, and it says cleared and waiting international departure from Chicago, United States. So it hasn't moved in almost a month.
Granville scammed you, mate.
Mate, very frustrating.
It's fake tracking. Don't trust Granville, mate. Yeah.
Very, very frustrating. But I'll share another Ozpost experience I had in Merch Perch. But they haven't been my friend this month.
Well, they've been my friend, and I'd like to say thank you, Australia Post, because if you go back 2 episodes ago, James was so excited.
I was.
He was going to get his Zombie Sailor figures first. I didn't even know mine had shipped, and they'd already shipped, and I was whinging about not knowing. I did actually reach out to Zombie and asked him about my tracking, and he was quite pleasant to deal with. So maybe he's listened to the feedback, or maybe he was in a good mood. Or maybe I just know how to talk to the right words, whispering in that ear, saying those sweet little nothings, and get what you need. But thank you, Zombie. I know you're a listener, so I'm very happy with my figures. Hey, James, I reckon I should crack this Dino Bravo open.
Yes, crack it open.
Well, it's not your now, but who cares? We don't have a sponsor. We can do whatever we want.
That's it.
I'm very tempted to
open it. Do it. Oh, actually, big shout out to John Lucas Reyes. Those
I'm ripping his work right now.
Those backing cards, John, are absolutely sensational. So bravo, well done, Aussie John.
Hey, James, one thing about opening this up right now.
Does it take you back?
my card back when I got it was absolutely perfect.
Yep.
So I know there's been some issues about people getting cards that aren't that great, but guess what? It's free.
There you
Dino
go.
is free. So
Okay, well, give us the rundown, mate. What do you reckon? Looks brilliant from my end.
so the paint is excellent. Okay, I've got no paint issues. I know there's been some for other people. I really like the detail on the trunks, the Canadian detail, the swords, the boots. It's got the flag really well. There's a tiny little mark on the shoe, but nothing that I'd be too concerned about.
Hasbro's had marks on too.
Head sculpt is incredible. I like the fact the head the head turns.
Yeah.
Both arms work independently from each other, which is good.
Does it feel like a Hasbro?
It feels just like a Hasbro.
Oh, that's so cool. Awesome.
There's something a little bit different in the plastic. It doesn't feel as hollow as a Hasbro does.
So it feels like more solid.
I don't know. There is something slightly different. It feels a little bit more solid, but very, very cool. I'm going to go and put him next to the Earthquake up in my collection.
That's awesome.
So I know that there's been some negative press, but I'm very happy with those. The other thing is, it feels like a real figure. Now, if you get a custom, like I've got a custom Dino Bravo that I had made, the paint doesn't feel quite right.
Yeah, rough.
The sculpt is a bit bumpy, and even by some of the best customizers. So yeah, I'm very, very happy with that. I've just got to be careful because while I'm touching it, I can feel parts of my dinner. It might be still on my fingers here, getting on his hair. Sorry, Dino.
Lick it later, mate. You'll be right. Lick it off.
Now, good news for me is I've got more of these coming.
Yeah.
So I will keep one on card. Hopefully the one that comes now isn't a complete beater, because then I've just wasted the good one. But to be honest, I couldn't care less about resale. I couldn't care less about the value. I just wanted the figure in hand. I've got it. Yeah. I've also got a Sabu, which looks pretty good. I wasn't sold on whether I really wanted this or not. I ordered an Earl Hebner and a Dino through a friend. And then when they opened international orders, I ordered the Dino and the Sabu. So I have two Dinos, and Sabu and Earl. Don't need the Major Brothers because I don't collect modern people. Yep. And very happy.
Awesome, mate. Awesome. Well, that's been a very long community news. So to stick to your time frame tonight, let's keep going. Let's get into merch perch.
Dude, I went down to the shops to pick up some fruit and veg. I couldn't help myself. Went down to the toy aisle. You never believe what I got. What you get? What you get? I got some figs. What you get? What you get? Found some figs.
Hey, mate. Seeing as I've already done half my merch perch before merch perch, I might as well just keep rolling. So up on the screen, there he is, Dino Bravo and Sabu, Heels and Faces. Very, very cool. I'm also sharing the image of the back of the card, which I think looks really cool too. I love the fact that there's a shout out for our Aussie John Lucas Reyes on the card as well.
Where's that? Where's that?
So just in the middle, next to Earl Hebner's little square, there's a Zombie Sailor team. I really like that. There's a close-up for you, and you can see Zombie Sailor, Ron Rudats, Alex Hinkie, Jeremy, Jennifer, Rich Davies, and John Lucas Reyes for the design. Well done. There's a few thank yous underneath. We didn't get a thank you here, James. I'm pretty sure we've done more for this line than anyone else internationally. So
definitely down under we have.
Hey, I also picked up a few nice sports cards this week. These are the AFL release called Brilliance. There's only 5 cards for the Fremantle team. I've got all 4 of the base cards. These boxes, 1 card per box, $150 a box. So I had a few good hits, sold off my hits, and then bought the ones I wanted. Smart way to do it. And I tell you what, James, this came today. This is probably 2 figures that I am most excited about putting in my collection. One is a wrestler who I say wrestler, somebody who I don't have in my collection, and one is somebody who I do have in my collection, but I really wanted this version. And think of them as a pair. They're Jacks. Think about who that could be. Who could it be?
Jack's Classic Superstars or
Jack's Classics, a twin pack.
the Strike Force, the proper ones.
I've got Strike Force. I shared that on merch purchase a few weeks ago. Come on, pay attention.
Who could it be? And you haven't got them in your collection.
It is Jerry the King Lawler and Andy Kaufman.
I thought it was Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey, yeah. So I bought this from our good mate, Karate Kid Benjamin, and I absolutely love that Andy Kaufman figure. I don't even care whether it looks like him or whether his head's a bit wrong. The neck brace. Have you watched the WWE Treasures show on Foxtel?
No.
So imagine the show Porn Stars or whatever it's called, where they go and look, or they have the collectibles. Imagine that there was a wrestler and a sort of a collector, and they go hunting for old WWE items. That's what the show is.
Yeah.
Anyway, in one of the episodes I've seen, they go hunting for Jerry Lawler's first cloak from WWE when he wears it for his entrance to the first ever entrance on the show. And they meet this collector who has a whole heap of Jerry Lawler stuff and old Mid-South stuff. And they have the Andy Kaufman neck brace. Pretty crazy, eh?
Wow.
So, very, very cool. Great show. I've only watched a couple of episodes, but I really liked it. And it's really well made. So
it's on Foxtel, is it?
It's called WWE Most Wanted Treasures or something like that.
On Foxtel?
And in the first episode, which I didn't actually see because I'd missed the series link, good friend of the Asylum, my other page, Steve GWC, old Macho Man Steve,
yeah.
He's actually in the first episode, so with Mick Foley.
Right.
So very cool.
Yeah.
So awesome. So that was my merch perch, mate. A couple of Jacks, a couple of zombies, a couple of sports cards. Good week for me.
Yeah. Good stuff, mate. Well, mate, heart and throat stuff for me. I had two very expensive pieces on their way back from UKG, and I was 8 days late. Never in the history of dealing with UKG or whoever they use in terms of their courier company, whenever it says it's coming, it arrives. And that's been 5-6 years worth of doing that. First time ever, it was 8 days late. And even it said it's coming today, it didn't come today, like the day before it came. And I was freaking out. Anyway, it arrived on my front doorstep, all in perfect condition, and I was really, really happy. So first up, I had my Hulk Hogan reference slide, which I shared a few weeks ago, but I had it graded along with its respective bio card and the Hulk Hogan Series 1 figure.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, the figure received a grade of 85, which I'm happy with. The slide looks awesome next to the label, and the bio card just sets it off. Love it.
Yeah,
love it.
Really cool.
And the next piece I got back from UKG was my Macho Man Series 1 2-Ups wax head prototype. Again, I had it cased up alongside the respective bio card. I haven't seen this done before, so I think it looks pretty unique, and I was really, really pleased with how this one turned out.
Yeah, that's awesome. You must be so happy to get those back now.
Oh, yeah, I am. And the wax prototype head was a bit of a risk, and I took the risk because I know of some wax heads in transit. They move around and they chip or they dent or they, but this one arrived perfect. And that's why I was freaking out 8 days later. I'm thinking, man, it's getting thrown around and sitting under a bloody piano or something that's sitting.
Yeah, imagine a wax prototype in a hot sun and be coming back as a melted candle.
Yeah, I know. But no, they come back safe and sound, so I'm very, very happy. What I'm going to do, Chris, so I feel like I'm 2 pieces. I keep saying this. I feel like I'm 2 pieces away from absolute completion. So I'm going to do a video. I'm going to do a video of all my pre-production pieces coming soon. I just got to find the time to do it.
Watch James, I don't want to be the bad guy here, mate, but do you know how many times you've said I'm 2 pieces away?
Hey, keep checking the episodes, mate. It's been 2 for a while.
I encourage your buying, but look, one day you and your wife and I were going to have to sit down and have an intervention just to tell you that you're not 2 pieces away because the hunt never ends, James.
The hunt never ends. Never, ever bloody ends. That's it from me. So merch perch. So you want me to go first?
Well, I just did merch perch.
No, members merch perch.
Oh, you can go first. I don't have one because...
Oh, you don't have one? Okay.
Well, see, I was at work today when we decided to bring the show forward a day. So this is a bit tricky for me because I'm sort of playing catch-up.
You got your phone on you? Look at your phone. Look at weekly merch perch and choose one. While you're doing that, I'll share mine. This week was from our international listener from all the way over from the UK is D. Kelsey, and he has picked himself up a LJN, for you LJN fans, listen up, an LJN Kamala prototype. You got the image there, mate?
I'm trying to look up my phone. You just told me to look up my phone. Now you want me to show the image. Come on.
There it
How
is there.
cool is that?
Yeah,
it looks so cool.
And it comes with a prototype mask. And now I'm assuming these would be hard resin prototypes. So looks like it's authenticated as well. So that's a great piece from our good friend D. And he's got some really cool pieces over there as well. No disrespect to D, but for whatever reason, Kamala is his favorite wrestler because he's got some amazing Kamala pieces. But yeah, Kamala's an odd choice, don't you think?
Well, I think it's a very, very cool figure. Kamala's another one of those sort of iconic. Now, I will share mine via my phone here. I'll show you the image, and you think, how good is that? Look at that. It's the Nwo Hulk Hogan in box and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat 93. Do you know who bought those?
No.
Oh, it was me. It was me as well.
Oh, yeah, there you go. The old narcissist here.
I'm my favourite member this week.
There you
It's
go.
the Hulk week. That's how busy my week's been. I even forgot that I bought the NWO Hogan this week. And when we discussed the NWO Hogan, I don't know if you remember this. So the ultimate ringside exclusive, both of us were like, nah, not going to get it. Don't need it. Nah, don't need it. So somehow in my brain at some point I went, oh, no, we'll get it because, you know, I might want it. Once it's a ringside exclusive, you're not going to be able to find them afterwards.
Yeah.
So I bought the Ricky Steamboat as well. And then Bulletproof had a sale here about a month ago. And I got a Ricky Steamboat then as well. So now I've got 2. So guess what? I think that Ricky Steamboat's going to become the prize for the fantasy footy comp on our FDU fantasy footy, which was won by, let me just bring that up now. We're all over the shop with our content tonight, but that's okay.
Hey, I'm on track, mate. It's all you.
Wow, it's a long day, mate. It's a long day. The FDU Ultimate Maniacs Fantasy Football Comp won by Fremantle Dockers supporter, so you probably get a few extras as well. Matt Slabanar's Emu Experts, James Glover. So, James, send me a message with your address. Well done. He beat Ben Messmaker in the grand final by 39 points, which is a good win. So, well done, Matt Slabanar's Emu Exporters. Great name of a team. And send me a message. So, James Glover.
All right, Chris, let's get back on track. You ready to jump into what's online?
I don't know. I got nothing.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
Did you see what was online? What's online? Some bloke selling some LJN figures on eBay. What's he asking? He's asking too much. Well, did you make an offer? Make an offer. You can't make an offer. It's an auction. Well, just slide into his DMs. Maybe he wants to let them go for less. Maybe he's just trying to whet your appetite. Well, I don't know. We'll just make an offer. I can't make an offer. It's an auction. We'll just slide right in to the DMs. What else is online? Oh, there's so much stuff. There's so much stuff online.
All righty. I'll kick it off, Chris, if you don't mind.
Well, I thought we could just do this together, James, because remember we picked out the same images, so we're just going to do this one as a team.
All right, let's go. So first up, I found a old school WWF LJN collector case on eBay right now for $375 Australian, and it's in pretty good condition. Very good condition, actually.
I'm not an expert on LJNs. Is this a cardboard collector case?
Yeah, it opens up. and it doesn't it doesn't look like it can fit that many in it. But
No.
like all memorabilia, toys, just throw a label on it and sell it, because it would have been red hot back in the day, red hot. And if you notice the image in the background of Andre the Giant in the aqua jacket,
yes,
now that's the Legends series that's coming up that they announced at San Diego Comic-Con.
Wasn't that also the animation used for Rock and Wrestling, or what it was called?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Very cool.
Hogan from Rock and Roll Wrestling. Yeah. So
yeah.
There you go, guys. If you're after a collector case, in pretty good condition, I feel, $375. Buy it now, and it's an Australian seller, which is pretty cool.
And pretty cool as well that the imaging on the case has got nothing to do with the look of the figures.
Yeah. Yeah, very funny. Next up, I have got a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from Series 3, a surfer. What do they call this one? A surfer. Sewer Surfer Michelangelo. Now, I found this. I found this pretty cool, and this is online now for $225. So mint on card, in pristine condition, and not even punched.
Yeah, unpunched.
And I follow this guy on Instagram who basically collects Sewer Surfer Mike toys and memorabilia. So he's got hard copy prototypes, hand-printed prototypes, original concept drawings, mint on card. He's got them loose. It's a really cool page. And I should have got the name, but I'll share that on our socials. So that's why I picked this one this week.
Yeah, very
And
cool.
last but not least,
can you stop saying I? We picked this one.
We. No I in team, Chris. Our good friend Mark Bushman. I don't know where he finds these things, but he found a signed LJN Ravishing Rick Rude, and that just recently sold. I think it was yesterday on eBay for $380 US. So
how smart does that Rick Rude look?
Yeah, it does. It does. But God, no disrespect to LJN collectors, but that's as a figure of Rick Rude, it's pretty average.
Now, as a kid, when Rick Rude came out and told everybody to sit down while he showed off his gear, there was always a feeling of awkwardness in the household.
Absolutely.
So that would be pretty well the time when your mum would walk in and watch you watching wrestling and go, "What the hell are you watching, you weird child?"
Yeah.
It was either that or Demolition coming out in their bondage gear with the masks on, and my nana going, "Oh, that's a strange thing to wear in a wrestling match."
Yeah, well, Brother Love or Paul Bearer coming out, and my mum just going, "Who are these idiots?" It's like, "Oh, Mum."
There's my boy Michael Jordan with his cardboard with the plastic cover for the LJN case, and quite a lot of comments from Matt DeMayo saying that the shipping costs we were talking about before for the Mattel Creations is the same as what we paid for this San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. So, and you know what? When I bought the last SDCC ones, they came really quickly and well packaged. The retros. The retros were really fast.
Okay.
So who knows?
Yeah, I still don't think you're getting them.
Well, guess what? Hey, I've got my Dino Bravo. I'm going to play with it tonight while you're in bed. I'm just going to play with my figures and Dino, what's that? You want to stay in the bed with me tonight? Yeah. Oh, that's okay, Dino.
Dino,
do you want to say hi to James, Dino? Oh, hi, James. Sorry, you don't have Dino.
He's coming.
Maybe if James is nice to me, you can stay at James's house for one day next week.
You just keep licking the sauce off his head, mate.
It was good. I had ribs tonight. It was really good.
All right, well, that wraps. So you've got nothing for what's online?
I got nothing. No, we did it together.
Okay, that's right. Sorry, mate. Well, let's wrap up what's online and let's go into, this is a big one, fig preview and review.
It's time to review a fig from today or the past. Which will it be? Stay tuned to find out.
Now, I'll tell you what.
Before you go, I've got a couple of comments. We've got Lucas Manita, the number one fan of Chris, giving us a shout out. Hello, Lucas. Glad to see you join us, and great work getting on the news the other day. Again, He's like the most likely member of the page to be on TV.
To be famous, absolutely.
And somebody else, we can't see your name coming through, but it says you're listening from the Hunter Valley. Welcome. Great place, Hunter
Hello,
Valley.
Anonymous.
Hello, Anonymous. All right, James, what do you want to tell us about Fig preview and review?
But I'll tell you one thing. I don't think the Playmates Ninja Turtles series is going to last that long, because I looked up Ninja Turtles Series 3, and dead set there's about 40 figures in the in the line. So I'm just going to read them out very, very quickly. And I'm not even going to ask you what your favorite was, but I'm going to share with you what mine was. Mine was the Giant Turtles, all 4 of them. Remember the Giant Turtles?
No.
You don't remember them? There you go. Big giant turtles. They're pretty cool. They've gone up in value now. So if you've got their mint in box still, hold on tight. All right. This is 1990 release, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Playmate Series 3. Now, for whatever reason, the old wacky series are split between Series 2 and Series 3, which we covered that in the in last week's episode. So I've got Creepy Crawling Splinter, which is a wacky Series 1, a Donatello with Storage Shell, a Donatello Undercover, that is, the Giant 4 Turtles, Fugtoid, probably said that wrong, Killer Bee, which is a box set of a Killer Bee, Samurai Leonardo, Sewer Surfer Mike, which we just saw in What's Online, Mondo Gecko, great figure, Muckman and Joe Eyeball, another good figure, Mutagen Man, Napoleon Bonafrog, Needle Nose, again another box set, Panda Khan, Pizza Face, Space Cadet Raph, Ray Fillet, Scumbag, Slash, Slice and Dice Shredder, Sword Slicing Leo, I had that as a kid, and Triceraton. What a bloody Series 3. Massive.
Mate, when you want to collect everything and then they just drop out 25 figures on you, you're like, sorry, guys.
You're like, yeah. And in between Series 3 and Series 2 being released, you had the vehicles and play sets released. So you had the Cheapskate. Do you remember the Cheapskate?
Mate, I don't remember any of this stuff.
You had the Party Wagon. You had the Turtle Cycle.
I remember the Blimp.
The Blimp. That was another one. Yep. They had the Blimp. What else do they have? They had
I remember the Technodrome too. I wanted the Technodrome.
They had the Knucklehead. The Knucklehead was like a spider with a foot soldier on it. And that's all. I think that's what they released in between these two series. But that is a mouthful, and I'm tired just reading that out. So I've got a few of those pieces loose, mint. But there you go. That's Series 3.
Sounds good, mate. And what was your favourite from the line?
I'm going to say the four large turtles, or where are we? Manager Man, Mondo Gecko. That was a cool figure. He was the gecko with his skateboard. You remember him from the cartoon?
Looks dumb.
Really? No, he was cool. He was the skateboard accessory.
I've got to take your word for those ones because I don't remember seeing any of this stuff. So when I was a kid, I had the Ford Turtles, I had a Splinter, I had a Shredder, and I had a Rocksteady and a Bebop. And that was it. And then I don't remember ever looking for any more because I felt like that was it.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing is, like, I know you got everything you wanted, but my housemate, it was very hard to get Mum to buy us anything. So I did not get everything I wanted. And I was just explaining to my daughter this evening about how she gets everything she wanted. And I didn't. And my kids have no idea how lucky they are. But,
you had one of those conversations. Back in my day, I never got everything. Is that how it started?
In my day, James, back in my day, I remember going to a friend's birthday party and us being so damn poor that I wrapped up a figure I had, probably one I didn't really want, and giving it to this kid as a present because we didn't have a present for him. And then at the end of the party, making my mum go back and get that figure back from the other kid and offering to buy him something else the next week. So my childhood was a traumatic experience being a kid in Duncraig, Western Australia.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear, mate. That's not nice. Not
Like the
nice
Bronx,
at all.
mate. Like the Bronx.
Bronx. Actually, I left one out of that list. Now that I'm scrolling through my six-page run sheet, Wingnut and Screw Loose. That was another member of the Series 3 Turtle Line.
Also,
All right,
good
mate,
pseudonyms for us, mate.
You what?
They're good pseudonyms for us. You could be Wingnut and I'll be Screw Loose.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. You give me the little annoying one on my shoulder. Alrighty, so that wraps up Fig Preview Review, and now we're into the Q&A.
It's question time. It's question time. It's time to ask the boys a question. What's on your mind? Let us know and we will tell you the answer.
Okay, we've got one question, Chris, and it's a good one.
Good, because
Very
it's
good one.
time to wrap up, mate, because I got to get to soccer.
Yes. So this one's from Michael Jordan, the Michael Jordan. Can you give us an introduction into toy grading? Who to use? Are there display options? Examples of cost, etc.? Thanks. Now, I'll quickly just go through this. I could probably do a video on this and share this in the group eventually, because I've done a fair bit of grading with UKG, and I liked UKG because their process was simple. I think you've had the same experience.
Yeah.
There's AFA and UKG that are probably the top two. AFA probably being, I don't know if they're more recognized or Americans just like to use them because they it's in America.
Well, there's no customs because it's in America. So
Yeah.
AFA highly used by the US. AFA don't just do figures; they do cards and other things as well. But the AFA website, unless it's changed, is incredibly hard for an international shopper to navigate. So I use UKG. James uses UKG. I've never had an issue. I've always found them being very fair with their grades.
Yep.
And always a very good communication.
Yeah. So look, I think it's in turn. Let's just pick a wrestling figure card. They all graded on its, the card itself, the bubble, and the figure itself, and they will give that grade a 90. They graded out of 90%, and so overall, depending on those three grades, will give you your overall grade. And if you're buying pieces for investment, never buy anything under 80, 85. Now, I think they're probably the grades you want to keep in your collection.
Look, 80.
80. Great. And great.
I was going to say, if you get something under 80, it limits the amount of buyers if you're trying to resell. Even that, I had was a 75 or a 70 Macho Man, and it looked like an 85, but it had a crack in the bubble that you couldn't really see. And that reduced the value of the figure to probably $500. And they actually, UKG reached out to me and said, hey, it's got a crack in the bubble. It's only a hairline crack. You can't see it without the UV light. Do you still want us to grade it? Because they were saying you're not going to get a good grade for this. Yeah. So that's the sort of professionalism that you're dealing with. They understand the situation, and they said, hey, maybe don't get this graded. And I said, no, do it anyway. And then just bleep that one out, KG. And then they got it back to me, and I was just kept looking at it going, oh, didn't really want a 70. I wanted an 85. Yeah.
But overall, look, grading's not for everyone. I personally love it, and I can see why people don't. But I love the process. I love the way they look. In terms of display options, you can get acrylic cases from UKG. They're a slide bottom case, so you don't have to get it graded. You can just buy the cases, send them over, and they'll send them over, slide the bottom out, put your figure in and slide it back. But I have found, and I will share it in our group and socials, there's an Aussie guy not doing grading, but he creates acrylic cases, custom acrylic cases. So I'll share that in the group. In terms of cost, it does get quite costly, especially for us international buyers, because I think it's relatively cheap to have your pieces graded. But if you want a fast turnaround, that cost, and then you've got to have it shipped. You got to ship your product there, and you got to get it shipped back. So that's where it does become expensive. But the actual process itself, I find it fair and reasonable for what you're getting.
And I would also say, if you're going to ship there or back, always pay for express.
Yeah. Don't don't stinge on that. And in terms
Hey,
of turnaround times,
one question for you before you tell us
Yep.
about the turnaround is: do you still have to pay import charges through UK customs?
no, look, no, you do. If you put the true value of the item on your box, you will. And it's a bugger over there. I'm pretty sure in Australia we have $1,000 threshold of
It's
import tax.
£30.
It's £30 over there, which is what's that? About $60 Australian.
Yeah.
So I always the process I've done, and it's never failed me, is even if I have a $5,000 figure or a $1,000 figure, I will put on there £25, and I'll pay top dollar to get that figure there in 4 or 5 days. So peace of mind, it just goes straight through customs and it sits there. Because even if you put your true value on there, it'll sit at customs for 2 or 3 weeks before they even reach out and say, hey, you've got to pay your import fee. So that your expensive item, if it's going to get graded, can sit in customs in snowy or freezing cold England before they actually reach out and say, hey, your item's here. So it slows the whole process down. It is a risk. I should put a disclaimer here. Don't come back on me if you lose your item, but it's never failed me.
Well, the big risk is with James's strategy, you don't pay the import fees, but you also can't insure. Because if you're writing on the customs declaration that it's $25 value, then you can't then go and insure it for $1,000 because they'll just see straight past that. The other thing is when you're just declaring a value. Now, this Dino Bravo that I have here that James doesn't have, just in case you missed earlier in the show, James doesn't have this. If I said that to me this is worth $500, now when we're talking about toys, really, what James is saying is, well, if it was ever questioned on valuing those figures under, you could just say, well, that's what I think it's worth. Who can actually tell you this is not worth $500, it's only worth $10? There's no one who can categorically make that decision. So you can't really get into trouble for something like that.
Yeah. So that's the process I use. What was I going to say? Oh, turnaround time. So UKG offer a standard, which is, depends how busy they are, but that could be a 12-week turnaround from receiving your item to actually grading and finishing your item. Then they have a 6-week turnaround, which costs you 35 British pounds. So they do it in 6 weeks, so half the time of standard. And then you can pay £100 to have it turned around in 7 days. So I've done both. I've done all three, actually. The 3 month is a very, very long way. But it all comes down to, for me, it all comes down to the value of and the rarity of the item. I'd rather peace of mind. I want it back in my hands, safe and sound, as quick as possible. So I'll save my pennies and spend most.
Sounds good to me, mate. So you're a smart man. And do you know, are you still UKG's number one customer?
Mate, between Johnny Watson and myself, probably Johnny Watson these days, I reckon.
I reckon that UKG, the owner of UKG, has just bought his third boat from the two of you. So well done.
Well done. Well, mate, I know you've got to go. So how about we wrap it up, eh? That's a good
show.
session.
Now, just before we wrap it up, we are potentially going to take a couple of weeks of a break. We'll discuss that and we'll let people know. We're looking at maybe a 3-week break before we come back for the next episode, just due to some incredibly busy lives. And hopefully, because it's a bit of a quiet time in the fig world at the moment, if we leave it 3 weeks, we'll have a lot of content to come back to. Lots of viewers tonight, so we appreciate you guys tuning in and sticking with us. And if you want to sponsor, get on board. The only way is up. So, that great song, The Only Way is Up.
Absolutely. And hopefully my Zombie Sailor figures arrive in the next few days.
Well, just come over to my house and you can hang out with me and play with my toys if you want.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you once again for tuning in. A great show. Check us out on all the social accounts, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and always use the hashtag The Hunt Never Ends. Because you know why, Chris?
No, I'm still buying toys and I'm 39 years old. That's why the hunt never ends.
Well, mate, it never, ever ends. And
before we go, I just thought I'd let you know I'm only 2 pieces away from being complete.
I'm only 2 pieces away from matching your collection. That's a Dino Bravo and who's the other guy?
Yeah, El Hebner.
Oh, Hebner. Yeah.
Very nice.
All right.
Mate. We'll see you
peace, mate.
soon.
Cheers.
See you, everyone.